This video is going to be all about finding the angles in triangles. So our first example says find the measure of angle S. So the first thing that you need to know is that all triangles have an sum, or an angle sum, of 180 degrees. So if you add up all three angles, it's always going to be 180 degrees total. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is add up the two angles that we know. We'll leave that S for last. So if we have 120 plus 35, that brings us to a total of 155 degrees. So we need to add something, some number, to 155 to get 180. So we can subtract in order to find that answer. 180 minus 155 is what? We need to borrow. The 8 becomes a 7. We add 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So we get 25 degrees. So angle S is 25 degrees. We would want to probably check our answer just to make sure. Add up all three, 120, 35, and 25. 0, 5, 5 is 10. Put down the 0, carry the 1. 3 and 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And then we have 1. So we got 180, so that's perfect. Alright, so this is a trickier example. Again, everything needs to equal 180 degrees. So we're going to be adding up everything that we do know. So we have these two, we have 70 and 20. 70 and 20 is 90 degrees. So we already know that these two together make 90, so this one also has to be 90. But we're solving for x, right? So we have 90 plus 3x is equal to 180. So all three of these added up. But they're not saying that this is 90 degrees. They're not asking us to solve for that angle. We actually have to just solve for that value for x. So if we know that these two are 90, and I know that 90 is half of 180, so I know 3x has to be equal to 90. So what multiplied by 3 is going to give us 90? Well, 3 times 3 is 9, so if I add a 0, that'd be 90. So x is going to be 30 degrees, or 30. So if x is 30, we have 3 times x, or 3 times 30, is 90. And then, so if we have 90 plus 70 plus 20, we get 180 degrees. So that is perfect. And then we have sketch the triangle, label the angles D, E, and F, and then find the measure of angle F. So first of all, we want to make a triangle, and it doesn't really matter what it looks like because we know that all triangles have a measure of 180 degrees. So it doesn't really matter what our triangle looks like as long as we're still labeling each of those angles D, E, and F, and then labeling appropriately. So I'm going to first draw out my triangle. Okay, so we sketch the triangle and then we label those angles D, E, and F. And again, it doesn't matter where you label them or which one is labeled which, as long as you have all three. Okay, and D, it says, is 67 degrees, so I'm just going to go ahead and label that one 67 degrees. E is 84 degrees. And then F is our unknown, we don't know. So we need to find that angle of measure F, the measure of angle F, I'm sorry. So we do 67, our two known angles, 67 and 84. We're going to add those together. 7 and 4 is 11, carry the 1. 8 and 6 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So it's 151. And since we know that the triangle is 180, we're going to take 180 and we're going to subtract 151. We need to borrow. 10 minus 1 is 9. 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. So our angle F is 29 degrees.